Alright, good Thursday evening. We are going to be learning about something totally new today. Well, sort of. Actually, it's combining a lot of stuff we've learned in the past and just kind of moving forward with it. So we're doing intro to polynomials. A polynomial is, if you know your root words from English, mono means one, nomial means term. So this is just one term, that's a monomial. Poly means many or more. So more than one, so greater than one. This is just one. Okay? So in math, we have monomials, which means just one term, and then everything else is called a polynomial. So let's fill in the blanks here. A monomial is a number variable or product of numbers and variables. So it can only be a number, like example 5. Alright, a variable, example x, or a product of numbers. This is just multiplication. You can't have division, subtraction, addition, just multiplication. So that would be 5x to the 4th. Something like that would be an example. Okay? So here we have, in our list here, we have a chart. Everything on this column is called a monomial. It's only one term. See, everything here is just a number, a variable, which is a letter. Or a product of numbers and variables. So products, there's just multiplication going on here. And this one you might say, well, there's a fraction, but you could write it as 0.5 and just multiply it, instead of that. Okay, or 1/2. But over here we have addition, so that's not a monomial. We have division, no. Subtraction, no. And we have division again. So, a constant is a monomial that is a real number with no variable. Which of the monomials examples above are constants? No, it's just a number with no variable. Yes, the 10. This is the constant. Okay. A polynomial, where poly means more than one, is a monomial or sum of monomial terms or numbers, or a sum of monomials or terms. A binomial, the word bi means two, like bicycle has two wheels on it. Okay, two, it's the sum, so it's adding. And then trinomial means the sum of 3, because tri means 3, like triangle. So we're still adding. Alright? So if we have a polynomial like this, we have 3x squared. That's a mono. That's a monomial. It only has one term. There's not separate terms. We have this one, -9, still a monomial. I'm just going to abbreviate that to mono. It only has one, and it's constant. It's just a number. Sorry about that. This is a 1. And then 2x minus 7, that's a binomial. Because it has two terms. You have the 2x and the 7. Then we have another binomial. I'm just going to abbreviate bino. Has two terms. We have the 3x squared y and the 2z to the 2z squared. Alright, then when we go up to 3, we have a trinomial and a trinomial here. And both of those have three terms. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Separated by addition or subtraction. Okay? Alright, so let's put this into practice here. Next page. It says, simplify the expressions, tell whether the simplified expression is a monomial. So we have two steps here. We have to simplify first and then tell whether it's a monomial. Well, you should know how to simplify this now. You just did this unit. 6 times negative 3 is a negative 18. X squared times x to the 5th is, we add our exponents. We're multiplying, so we add. So it's a negative 18 to the 7th power. Box that in because that's our answer. And that's just one term, so it's a monomial. Alright, we have x squared over y to the 3rd all to the negative 2. Well, since it's a negative, we're going to flip this fraction to make it positive, to make the whole thing not to a negative. So we're going to end up with the y over 3, y to the 3rd, and x to x squared. And all of that is to the 2nd power. So now you can solve it because it just ends up being this. Y to the 3rd to the 2nd power, x to the 2nd power. And we end up with y to the 6th, because it's power to power, we're going to multiply, over x to the 4th. Alright. Is this a monomial? No, it's not a monomial. It's not a monomial because it has division. Okay. Next one. Negative 4 to the 4th. Well, that's going to give us a positive 256, because 4 times 4 times 4. And it's negative, but that doesn't mean anything because it's 4 times, you multiply it. And then we have x to the 12, because you're multiplying power to power. And y to the 12. Okay. And that is going to be a monomial, because if it was if it had addition and subtraction that were separating it, it would be polynomial, but it doesn't, so it's just a monomial. Alright, here we go. 9 divided by negative 3, that's going to give me a negative 3. A to the 3rd over a to the 1. 3 minus 1, remember we subtract when we divide. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. That is a monomial. Last one here. We're going to go ahead and multiply what's on top first. Multiply those together. So you have a 24. I'm going to put a 1 there. It's a to the 4th. B to the 1. Over negative 8. A to the 2nd. B to the 1. So now we can simplify that down. 24 divided by negative 8 is a negative 3. And then 4 minus 2, a to the 2nd. And these b's just cancel out because it would be b to the 0, which is just 1. So that's your answer. And it's going to be a monomial. Okay, that was just a review. Okay, so let's go to the last page. Or if you need to stop and go back at any point, you can. Alright, so here's an intro to combining polynomials. Here are your steps. First step, combine your like terms within the parentheses. Step 2, distribute if necessary to clear the parentheses. Step 3, combine remaining like terms. Alright, so let's look here. So within the parentheses, are there any like terms we can combine? No. So we're going to go to step 2. We can't distribute. There's nothing outside the parentheses to distribute. So what we're going to do is we're just going to combine our remaining like terms. Okay. So a 9y and a negative 3y make a 6y. A negative 7x and a positive 8x make a 1x. Okay. We're going to plus this here because it's a positive. And then so we've done the y's and the x's. And then we have 15a and a negative 8a Well, that's going to make a 7a. And this is your answer. And what is this? This is going to be a trinomial. We have 1, 2, 3 terms. So it's a trinomial. Okay? So the next one. Within the parentheses, is there anything to combine? No. No. They're different. So distribute. No, we don't have any distributing. Combine like terms. A 4a and a 7a. Please note, over here and here is not multiplication because there is an addition sign. Alright, so 4a and a negative 7a is going to leave you with a negative 3a. And a negative 5 and a positive 5 are going to cancel out to 0. You are just left with a negative 3a, and that's a monomial. Alright, look here inside the parentheses. We have some like terms that we can combine. A 3x squared and negative, nope, that's not the same. That's a y. Can't combine this. Alright, so a 3x squared plus a 4x squared is a 7x squared. A 5xy and a negative 8xy is going to give us a negative 3xy. And a negative 2y squared and a positive 1y squared is going to give us a negative 1y squared. That's all we're doing here. We're just adding up the like terms. And that's a trinomial. 3 terms. Okay, 7c and a negative 8c is going to leave us with a negative 1c. And, oh, but look here. Notice that this is a subtraction. Back it up, Miss Hogg. Okay. Thanks for breaking my whiteout and not telling me. You know who you are. So I'm going to have to rewrite this. 7c minus 5 minus negative 8c plus 5. Okay, let me show you how to do this. When you have subtraction, you have to distribute. It's like you have a negative 1 in front. So the subtraction distributes to everything on the inside. Addition, it doesn't bother it because it doesn't change sign. So when we do this, it becomes negative 1 times a negative 8c. That's going to become a positive 8c. And a negative 1 times a 5 is going to give you a negative 5. So now you have this. 7c and an 8c. That's going to make a 15c. And a negative 5 and a negative 5 makes a negative 10. So this is your answer. It's a binomial. Alright, down here we have another subtraction. So we're going to distribute that inside here. We have a negative 2ax squared and a positive 8ax and a negative 4. Changing that. So now we have a 5 and a negative 2. That's a 3ax squared. And a 3ax and an 8ax is 11ax. And then just minus 4. And that's a trinomial. And then finally on the bottom, again, we got to distribute that negative 1 in. So I'm going to rewrite this to be negative 4x squared plus x minus 1. You're flipping all of these signs. Okay? So now a 5x squared and a negative 4x squared is just an x squared. Negative 3x and a positive x is a negative 2x. And a positive 1 and a negative 1, those cancel. So you're just left with this. Okay, so this is a binomial. right, that's it for tonight. We'll see you. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Have a great night. Paxton.